Everything went peacefully. There were no irregularities. Nobody died. My God. I'm happy he has backtracked from that. In this statement, what he said was that there were irregularities.
Hello my people, how una dey? Thank you all for tuning in into this our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends on the location where you dey watch me for. From this our channel, now here we dey bring news, we dey react to videos, celebrities matter when it dey happen for inside Obodo Naija, and we dey bring out the con dey give una as e dey hot. So my people, I get interesting video when I want make we all watch. My people, but before we go watch just video, I beg if you dey meet us for the first time, make you not forget to subscribe, like, and help us to share the video so that make other people they see waiting they happen. So my people, make you watch this video to the end, and at the end of the video make you leave your own thought what you think concerning this video, and me myself I will see una at the end of this video to give my own personal thoughts concerning the video. So let's watch this video together.
Garba Shehu was presenting this report based on the outing by the president to Doha in Qatar for the United Nations conference on least developing countries. And as part of that report, he shared what the president has said to diasporans on his outlook on the last election and some of the key things you've mentioned. And the first thing he had said was that, I mean, one of the things I'd like to highlight in what he said was that he had referred to what he spoke about before the elections, that this election would reflect the wishes of Nigeria, and the outcome would be only what Nigerians voted for. Now, the body language of the president, to be fair to him, before the elections had been very consistent. Beyond his body language, his words, his affirmations, what he has said concerning his commitment to a free, fair, credible, and as Malam Shehu said, transparent elections. In fact, it was almost a song. We all knew the FFC, free, fair, credible. And so it inspired hope in a lot of Nigerians to go out to exercise their franchise, believing that this was going to be an election with a difference. And he also made the right moves. He signed in the Electoral Act of 2022. He also had said that this election will be technology driven to minimize incidents of rigging and irregularities. Unfortunately, the reality post-election or during the election, we didn't even get to the post before there were complaints. In fact, famously, former President Olusegun Obasanjo had written a letter to the president asking him to cancel the elections because it had been marred with a lot of irregularities. He called the president to step in whilst the results were still being announced. And this is because INEC and its chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, had come under a lot of criticism from political actors and Nigerians themselves. For the president to say that this election, or compare it perhaps to the June 12, 1993 election, is quite interesting, because June 12, 1993 election is said to be perhaps the freest, fairest election since independence that Nigeria has had, reflecting the will of the people, where we had a Muslim candidate or candidacy, yet people were more concerned about moving the country forward and voting the personalities they felt could best represent Nigeria at the time. Unfortunately, the General Babangida had annulled the elections, and this was met with widespread protests and violence following that. Comparing that election to this election is interesting because beyond Nigerians and local analysts criticizing this election for being marred with irregularities, international media and personalities and observers have also called to question the integrity of the election. Yes, the president can speak about his perception. I mean, famously, when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to present his certificate to him in Daura, he had shared the same sentiments that this was a fantastic election. It was well done. However, when you feel the pulse of the people, and from analysts, it doesn't reflect that. So there are two things on our end here that perhaps we begin to see, which was the question I asked when he first said that is the president not in touch with what is going on in terms of the violence that marred the elections? We talk about the ballot box snatching, the disenfranchisement of people in Warri. Do we talk about the attacks here in Lagos? Do we talk about what happened in Kano State? Do we talk about pockets of violence and irregularities? Right from the registration of voters, this election had been marred with irregularities. So for him to say this, it's quite interesting. But we continue to watch. As he said, if you have local standing, go to the courts, and the principal parties of the PDP and the Labour Party have indeed approached the courts. It still unfolds.
I think it's fairly straightforward.
For me, when I saw this statement, I was really excited that President Buhari has backtracked from his initial comments about the elections, which were, everything went peacefully. There were no irregularities. Nobody died. My God. I'm happy he has backtracked from that. In this statement, what he said was that there were irregularities alleged by people, and the way to go is the court. At least this is different from calling the elections free, fair, and everything good that he did when the presidential candidates of the APC and President-elect Bola Tinubu went to visit him in Daura. So this is a departure from that. And the truth has to be said. For us to be able to deepen democracy, we must have leaders stand up tall. Because a country is only as strong as the institution. And that is why also I am happy that the federal government have talked about the irregularity. But the question is, what will be done as regards independent national electoral commissions? Irregularities. The court will decide that. Like the court has decided in a case to come as regards TVCs and PVCs, temporary voters cards and the likes. We'll review the story very soon here. We are in a democratic dispensation, and we are back to democratic rules since 1999. We've had like 7 iterations of election cycle. We will abide by the court. But in abiding by the court, Nigerians are also calling on the judiciary to stand tall. In recent times, people have lost confidence in the judiciary. And people are taken aback. And the judiciary too has not re-established that level of confidence. We all saw here when the Supreme Court was reacting and abusing in Nigeria for writing articles about how it feels about the Supreme Court judgments, which the Supreme Court should never do. So I think most importantly, the eyes of the people are on the Supreme Court judges as this case pan out. And the truth has to be told. Nigerians will look at you critically. And whatever you do in the determination of this will deepen or destroy democracy in this country. And that's why a lot of Nigerians are imploring you that please do the best you can for the country in accordance with the law. No pressure. President Muhammadu Buhari going to Doha, yes, one of his last outings, as things will be wrapping up for him on May 29, saying up all the good stuff, talking about things on the diplomatic front, you know, making a case for Nigeria. But the most important question is, and what behoves on this new administration, is how to repair our image that has been damaged on the international scene. Because anybody that is right thinking about Nigeria should know that when all those countries say things about Nigeria with their media outlets, the Economist, the Times, and the likes, it feeds back to the way and the perception an average Nigerian citizen is treated. So the next government has to repair that image. And how do we repair the image? We repair the image with justice and integrity. So for me, I'm happy President Muhammadu Buhari has backtracked. And now, from his statement, the presidency has been able to say, yes, there were irregularities, unlike the first one he said. All right?